For as long as we've looked up at the night sky, one celestial body has captured our imagination more than any other. Mars. The red planet, named for the Roman god of war. It has long been a symbol of mystery, a distant world that feels both alien and strangely familiar. For centuries, we wondered if it held life. But in the space age, that wonder turned into a heated global debate. What if Mars isn't just a desolate landscape of dust and rock? What if it once hosted something far more complex? Something that left behind clues we are only now beginning to decipher. It all began in 1976. NASA's Viking 1 orbiter was mapping the Martian surface, sending back thousands of images. Tucked away in that massive data dump was one photograph that would ignite a firestorm of controversy lasting for decades. In a region called Cydonia, a landform, a simple mesa, looked eerily like a human face, with what appeared to be shadowed eyes, a distinct nose, and even a mouth. The formation was immediately dubbed the face on Mars. NASA was quick to dismiss it, explaining it away as a natural trick of light and shadow, a geological formation shaped by eons of erosion. But the image went viral, long before the internet as we know it existed. And a lot of people weren't buying the official explanation. To them, the symmetry was too perfect, too deliberate to be a mere coincidence. This was the birth of one of the most persistent and fascinating mysteries in the history of space exploration. As public fascination with the face exploded, a community of researchers, including independent analysts and even some former NASA-affiliated scientists, started to pore over the images of the surrounding terrain. And what they claimed to find only deepened the mystery. Scattered around the face were other peculiar formations, structures that looked like pyramids, angular mounds, and what some described as a geometric layout resembling the ruins of an ancient city. One structure, in particular, stood out. Nicknamed the D&M Pyramid, it was a massive five-sided mound with remarkable symmetry. This was unusual because, while four-sided pyramids can occasionally form in nature, a five-sided one on such a grand scale is extraordinarily rare. But the intrigue didn't stop there. Proponents of the artificial origin theory began analyzing the spatial relationships between these structures. They reported finding deliberate mathematical alignments. They claimed the positions and dimensions of the face, the D&M pyramid, and other nearby mounds corresponded to constants like pi and phi, the golden ratio. These are the same mathematical ratios found in some of Earth's most sacred and advanced ancient architecture, from the Great Pyramid of Giza to the Parthenon in Greece. The implication was staggering. Could the builders of these Martian structures have possessed the same sophisticated mathematical knowledge as our own ancient architects? The geometry seemed too precise, the layout too intentional. For those who believed, this wasn't just a collection of random hills. It was a message carved into the very landscape of Mars. Of course, the scientific community demanded better evidence, and in the late 1990s and early 2000s, it seemed they would get it. New missions, like the Mars Global Surveyor, were sent to the Red Planet, equipped with far more advanced cameras. They flew over Cydonia, and the new higher-resolution images were released. According to NASA, the mystery was solved. The new pictures, taken under different lighting conditions and from different angles, showed that the face was just an eroded mesa. The pyramids were simply weathered hills. The case, it seemed, was closed. But for the true believers, this was far from the end of the story. Critics immediately pushed back. They raised questions about the new data. Why did some of the high-resolution images of the most interesting features appear unusually blurred or processed compared to the surrounding terrain? They pointed to inconsistencies in the announced resolutions and lighting angles. Some even alleged that the most detailed images were never made public, fueling suspicions of a cover-up or, at the very least, selective disclosure. But for skeptics of the official narrative, the central question remained unanswered. If there's truly nothing unusual there, why does the controversy persist after nearly half a century? Why does it feel like we're being told to look everywhere else but here? One of the most compelling reasons this theory refuses to fade away is the broader context it taps into. When we look back at our own planet's history, we see strange parallels. Ancient civilizations, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, independently built pyramids, megalithic structures, and cities aligned with celestial bodies. The Maya, the Egyptians, the ancient Chinese, how did they all arrive at such similar architectural and astronomical knowledge without any known contact? Could these echoes across human history point to a shared, forgotten knowledge? Or, as some speculate, more boldly, could they point to a common, off-world origin. Maybe the patterns we see on Earth didn't begin on Earth at all. While mainstream planetary science firmly, and rightly, rejects the idea of a lost Martian civilization based on the current evidence. Proponents argue that history is filled with examples of impossible ideas that later became accepted scientific fact. From the concept of continental drift to the existence of meteorites, what was once dismissed as fantasy often becomes tomorrow's textbook reality. It's crucial, of course, to draw a very clear line between hard evidence and imaginative interpretation. As of today, there is no definitive, peer-reviewed proof of artificial structures on Mars. We know that geological processes, combined with tricks of light and human psychology, our tendency to see patterns, a phenomenon called pareidolia, can create surprisingly geometric and familiar shapes. Yet, science is not about accepting dogma. It's about questioning assumptions and relentlessly pursuing the unknown. The story of Cydonia sits in that uncomfortable, thrilling space between hard science and wild speculation. It's a place where unanswered questions invite not just rigorous analysis, but also the kind of imaginative leaps that push the boundaries of what we think is possible. Are the formations in Cydonia nothing more than rocks shaped by wind, water, and time? Are they just a cosmic coincidence? A Rorschach test for a civilization desperate to find neighbors in the cosmos? Or could they be the last, fading whispers of something far older, far grander, and far more extraordinary than we've been willing to consider? After decades of missions, images, and heated arguments, one thing is absolutely certain: Mars still holds its secrets close. And until every rover has drilled into every rock and every question is answered with absolute clarity, the Red Planet will continue to challenge not only our science, but our very sense of our place in the universe. The evidence, as it stands, is on the table. The question is, what do you think it's hiding? Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the mysteries of space and ancient civilizations, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Let us know your thoughts on the Cydonia mystery in the comments below.